4. All right. Welcome, YouTube, to Press Play, where the press comes to play. I'm John Elker, and I'm one of the current people that work for the Washington Post video game team Launcher. This is a show that recurs on Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern, where we play video games with various members of the press or any awesome guests that we have on. Today, it's going to be a little special. We're going to keep it in-house. I've got Elise Stanley here with me, who is the person that reviewed the Kirby game for us, and that's exactly what we're going to be playing right now. I believe it's called The Last of Kirby. Is that right, Elise?
When I was writing the review, I was like, is it Kirby in the Abandoned World? It's Kirby in the Forgotten Land.
Okay, Kirby in the Forgotten Land. That's the actual game. The reason why The Last of Kirby is because if you look at the promotional art, it kind of looks like it takes place in that universe.
It does look like The Last of Us, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm super excited to play this. So if you guys have any questions in the chat, just let us know and we'll get to them as soon as possible. Otherwise, let's just hop right into it.
Sounds good. So, like John was saying, this takes place in like a dystopian world, which I thought was really cool because my favorite Kirby game, Kirby and the Crystal Shards, also kind of like low-key takes place in like a dystopian world. Like you go to a planet that like looks like Earth and it's like frozen and stuff, and they never really talk about it. So it's kind of like they took that concept and put it in, like made it into a whole game.
Yeah. So that was for the N64, right?
Yeah, that was for the N64. That was the first one and my favorite one.
That is also my favorite one. It was.
Nice.
I actually was a huge fan of like the multiplayer, weirdly enough, for that mode. So
I remember playing that with my sisters. Oh, unlike other Kirby games, you have an overworld map this time around.
That's very cool. So this is the first Kirby game in which they attempt to do something like that, right?
From my recollection, yeah. When I was looking into this, because I was like hesitant to be like, oh, the first 3D Kirby game. This is like the 3D-ist, if that makes sense. Because like a couple of other games have like toyed with like 2.5D, but none have had like it. Honestly, it reminds me a lot of like JRPGs. Like there's a lot of JRPG elements with like a hub town and a like the overworld map and whatnot. And there's like secrets on the overworld map too.
That is awesome. I personally am looking forward to this because you kind of mentioned it at the top. Kirby is like a much darker series than you would ever expect.
It really is. It's like deceptively cute.
Before we go any further, Elise, I'm getting some comments from people saying that it looks like your mic is echoing a little bit. Is there a chance that we could either switch your input just really quick, just to make sure that we've got the right one going? Thanks for cooperating with us. Meantime, chat. In the meantime, if you want to check out our review, Hawken, who's the person behind the scenes, do you mind just like throwing that link in the chat for everyone?
There we go. How is it now? I switch it to my actual microphone as opposed to the computer microphone.
I believe that might be better. I'm just gonna have my tech people confirm.
Kirby.
Then we should be good to go. Let's see. Okay.
Just let me know if you need me to make random sounds, and I'll just keep making random sounds.
Okay, it sounds like we are good to go. So, all right. Thanks for sticking with us, everybody. Okay, so let's begin. Where are we right now?
Oh, we are in Invasion at the House of Horrors. Excuse me. Each kind of like areas in this game are kind of based around a theme, and so this whole area is based around an amusement park. And then this particular level is so you like do like kind of like the Disney parade along Main Street, and you do like a carnival kind of thing. And then this one is a haunted house, but like a sci-fi 90s haunted house. And as soon as I started it, I was like, I love this. And it's easily my favorite level in the whole game because it's just really cute and zany. And I love the commitment to the theme with like the fake aliens like popping out, like trying to scare you, but then actual ghosts come out.
Yeah, I totally
was
love it.
very
Even though,
cute.
yeah, I love it. Even those characters right there are like a little Monsters Inc-esque. It's cool. Oh, we got our first transformation right here. What the heck is that?
This is so because I played this game for review and I beat it. I have like you can upgrade the copy abilities back in like the home like Waddle Dee town. So this is the upgraded version of the cutter ability, and it's just like a buzzsaw.
Ooh, okay. One of the things that we definitely have to do is like kind of be like fashion police for Kirby and be like rating his costumes for all the things that he eats. So like, what do we rate this right here?
I would rate this. I mean, a buzzsaw hat's pretty cute. Like it even has a little bill. Like look at that. That's adorable.
That is pretty cool. I do
would have
kind of
to
like
rate that. Like I'm a, like an 8 or a 7. I don't know about you.
8 or 7. Wow. Okay.
Out of
I was gonna say I kind of like the Mega Man-esque sort of thing going on with like the side of his head and stuff. I'd rate it like 6 out of 10 crystal stars. I'd say.
Did you ever watch Metabots? It also reminds me of Metabots.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that. Is that like a childhood show or?
Yeah, it was like Pokemon, but what if instead of Pokemon, there were robots, and if you won, you got to take their body parts.
Yeah, that seems cool. I definitely was a Pokemon kid, so like that occupied all of my time entirely. I missed all of the shows that were like sort of spin-offs, like Digimon, not my jam. So, yeah.
What about fighting Foodons?
Let's just go on rants for our childhood shows right now. I haven't watched that one either. Ooh, what's this?
This is mouthful mode. And one
Here we
thing I
go.
really like about mouthful mode, so this is like the big new like feature for this game. What I really like about it is you keep your hat of whatever copy ability you had while you're in mouthful mode. And that's so cute.
That is incredible. So mouthful mode is like the infamous Kirby gets to eat like gigantic objects that should not be allowed for Kirby.
It's too big for him's mouth.
Yeah, so this is light bulb Kirby, it would seem.
And so another reason why I wanted to show this level is I think it like builds on the concept of light bulb Kirby really well. So like when you start out, you're just using him to kind of like light your way, because it's like
that's cool.
you don't use it, you can't see anything. But then later in the level, they like throw new stuff at you.
That's awesome. One thing that I like absolutely adore from like a lot of Nintendo games is they're very good at structuring their platform games in a way that people can intuitively learn how to beat them because they have a structure. They have like introduce a concept in a save zone, introduce one complication, introduce 2 complications, and then a final gauntlet of like all the complications. It's like very structured and nice. And I'm already seeing that right here with Kirby.
This game does that very, very well. Like the last couple levels, I was like, this is so cool. Everything's just coming together and in a very satisfying way.
So as Lightbulb Kirby, can you also still shoot the buzzsaw stuff?
No.
Okay.
So the mouthful modes, and these are just little gachapons that are like little figures you get throughout the game. But in mouthful mode, you can only use like normally like 1 or 2 moves related to the mouthful mode. And you also normally have like slower speed, or if you're a car, faster speed. So this is what I was talking about with like the iterating. So that is an enemy that is attracted to light. And when you have your light on, you move slower. But then you also need to use the light to like find your way, but not enough to make the guy come and hit you, if that makes sense.
Okay, yes. Okay, I get that.
So you have to like triage it in the latter part of the level, as opposed to just like, oh, I'm gonna light my way the whole way. But yeah, the mouthful mode, like there's like maybe half a dozen like things you can suck up in mouthful mode, and they're normally for like specific portions of the level.
Okay. We're maybe, like 5-10 minutes into this, and already anybody jumping into this would just be like, what the heck is going on right now?
And I love the commitment to the theme, like the carpet, the everything. I'm like, yes, this is Chuck E. Cheese hell.
Yeah.
Like space Chuck E. Cheese hell.
Speaking of which, I do want to eventually get into why we chose the name for the stream, or the stream thumbnail that we did. But we're going to keep that a surprise for right now. Can you give us like a really quick like backstory, if the game even gives you one, for like what is going on here exactly?
So it's and I learned this word writing this review. It's a isekai story. So like, that's a very common, if I'm saying it right, common trope in like manga and anime, where it's just like a character is magically transported to another realm, and that's what happened to Kirby. He just got sucked up, and then he ended up here. And for some reason, these sentient animals were capturing all the Waddle Dees for nefarious reasons, and then you have to free them all while exploring this total, like eerily empty, clearly human world that you then find out why it's forgotten.
Interesting. I mean, who would want to forget this world, right?
But yeah, it's like they do a really good job of like doling out like bits of information, and then at the end they like finally give you it's like, oh, this is what happened. And then Kirby kind of takes like a JRPG turn for a bit at that point.
I'm always like taken aback sometimes by how anime Kirby is. Basically, like my first introduction to him was the Crystal Stars in '64, and other than that, just like Smash Bros was my only introduction to him. And even in the Smash Bros games, like he gets hardcore anime. Like in the recent game, there's like this scene at the beginning, which is kind of like the Infinity War, where like all the main characters get dusted at the end. That happens at the beginning of Smash Ultimate, and the only character that ends up living, total anime style, by like outrunning these like ray beams, is Kirby. So I'm always impressed by his abilities.
So this is another mouthful mode. This is soda, or vending machine. And can I just say that I love Kirby's little waddle? He does this for like every mouthful mode thing, and it's just so cute.
That's fantastic. So
as this can shoot soda cans and hit stuff.
So there are just no ideas that are thrown out. There's just none.
They're like, how
it.
far can we push Kirby? Waddle, waddle, waddle.
So a part of me like really likes, it's called mouthful mode, right? When he like changes forms like this. A part of me really likes that because it aesthetically changes things up, as opposed to him just getting like a costume or a hat. Have you noticed any major differences between mouthful mode and just his regular transformations? Is there anything in particular that's like gameplay wise different?
Yeah, his mouthful modes seem much more geared towards like solving puzzles. So like you can turn into a set of stairs and then knock down obstacles, or you can turn into a car and then do like a little like derby race. Whereas his powers seem much more like the copy abilities seem much more geared towards combat and like defeating bosses. Like you never fight a boss in mouthful mode, and you don't fight like hordes of enemies in mouthful mode. It's almost exclusively for like navigating stages and then also solving puzzles, environmental puzzles.
Okay, cool. We're getting a lot of goodies here right now, I see. A lot of paraphernalia.
All the gachapons.
Speaking of paraphernalia and goodies, Elise, you got a couple on your desk right now.
Oh yes. So this is actually my roommate's, and he has a secret because he's got chapstick in his hat.
Always comes prepared for any meal.
Always comes prepared.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, so like I was saying, this is like the theme parky area. Oh, on the overworld map, there are these like challenges, which are normally like geared towards one specific copy power or like one specific mouthful mode power. And you can either unlock these by completing the main levels, or you can just kind of like go around the map and then it'll prompt you to like search, and then you can find like a little hidden one. And then you use those to upgrade your abilities back at the Waddle Dee Town, which is like the main hub area.
Got it. Okay, this is pretty. This is a pretty wonderful world map.
This is and this is like very clearly like European. Like that looks like Big Ben. There's like a bridge that looks very clearly like London Bridge. So they never say it's Earth, but it's like, I can pick up what you're putting down, Nintendo.
yeah, right. So this is really cool. I'm getting a lot of Super Mario 3D World vibes from this, particularly with the way that this is laid out.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
this level has a lot of battling. Do we want to do that one?
Sure, let's check it out.
Fighting.
The Air
Oh,
Kirby
look,
Muse.
I don't have all the hidden Waddle Dees in this. So that's another thing. It's like you go through the level, you get to the end, they give you 3 hidden Waddle Dees, but then also if you just like poke around and find like hidden passageways and stuff, they're also in there. So the levels are pretty to look at, and then also just very complex because you have to like poke around to find anything. And there are still ones I haven't found, even though I've been through this level a couple of times. Oh, and this is Gun Kirby. He's probably my favorite.
Gun Kirby. Oh my goodness. Okay, so what are we ranking this costume-wise?
This is 11 out of 10. 20 out of 10. I love Gun Kirby.
I gotta say,
I'll-
this one's the showstopper for sure.
I can show this like once I go back to Waddle Dee Town, but this is the 3rd level of upgrade for Gun Kirby. The 2nd level, he gets 2 guns. I just found that really funny. Where it's
Wow,
like,
what an
yeah,
upgrade.
2 Gun Kirby now. So
Oh.
with the copy powers, they're more like I was saying, geared towards like battling these dudes. And then he has this little thing where you can like charge up, boom, and then do a big one like that.
Ooh.
Which is pretty OP with the small guys, but with like the big dudes, they don't give you anywhere near enough time to like charge up that much.
Love that anime slowdown as you kill him. I gotta say, it's like pretty alarming to see like very cute little Kirby. By the way, this is a 10 out of 10 costume too.
Mm-hmm.
This level is bringing it.
It's like what if Meta Knight was a butterfly? And I love that.
It's I gotta
like-
say, it's pretty alarming to see Kirby alongside like real person architecture. Like, it's a disconnect for me that I'm still like not quite over. I don't know how to feel about it.
Yeah, that was. Oh no! Oh, I'll go down here. That was something that like was hard to get used to because there's also a lot of the bad guys are like animals, but they still have the really cute anime eyes, and so it just kind of looks like stickers on top of like really realistic fur. And it's that same
So-
kind of uncanny valley as like him walking around, you know, this like frozen London Bridge.
Ooh, like that sort of attack. Could have put this in Smash Sakurai.
That would be cool if they brought these because all of his copy abilities. You ain't getting
Oh,
me. A lot of his copy abilities have been like the same throughout all the Kirby games. There's like Wheel Kirby and Spike Kirby, but in this one you can upgrade it. Like each one has 2 levels of upgrade, so it's really cool to see like the differences, like how they managed to like iterate on that. So like for Needle Kirby, the 2nd upgrade, you have all this just like detritus and like random stuff as needles, like pencils and coils, and when you use it, they like explode off of you.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's cool to see how they take these copy abilities that have been around since like, you know, like crystal shards, and then find a way to make them new.
That's really cool. Okay, so this level is all about just like gauntlets of fighting people like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Some levels are more platforming, and then some are more like fighting. And this is, I think it's like the 3rd world, so it's like halfway through the game. So yeah, it's like a lot of the bosses you've already fought before, but just boom, 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 boom.
Okay. All right, here's
This
the
is
next
Hammer
costume.
Kirby.
Ooh. I'm liking his little like King DDD hat he's wearing.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna hit you with 2 hammers, but I'm gonna dress responsibly for the weather.
See, and it just has little hidden things like that.
Also, really digging the music right now. Kirby's usually always been on point with music.
Oh, and so some of these levels will have like hidden objectives. So like one, which I just saw over there, I might be able to hit it after this. It's just like knock down all the wanted posters of Kirby.
Let's take a moment to see the meme in action. Kirby it is. That is still so wild to say. And he still keeps his little hat.
Yep, he still keeps his hat. But yeah, they'll just be like little wanted posters. Just little ways to like interact with the environment, and then it's like you do it just to see what happens, and it's like, oh, you completed an objective. Like in one of the early levels, there's a bring a bunch of little duckies back to their mom.
Oh no.
This is Fire Kirby.
Oh boy, up in the stakes.
Now it's versus 2.
Speaking of two, you can actually play this game co-op, right?
Yes. One person is Bandana Waddle Dee, and then the other person is Kirby. And I think Bandana Waddle Dee just has his spear.
Yeah. Which, like, what a rise to fame that little Waddle Dee has had. Just like, used to be just like a regular grunt. Now he basically is a character in the series because he has a spear.
Like his own thing.
Like,
I'm surprised he's not called Spear Waddle Dee. Oh, another cute thing. For each copy ability, you get a different hat, but then some of them they add like little extra stuff, so you get like little ice skates for the ice one.
ooh. Yeah, that's a really neat touch.
So the thing I just picked up, I already got, but you uncover blueprints, and then you use the blueprints and the stars you get from like the individual challenges to then upgrade your powers.
Got it. Okay. Very cool. Do we have... Is this like your main file that we're playing right now currently?
Yes.
Okay, I was about to ask if we could see some of the upgrades or maybe see like the main hub town.
I'll go back to Waddle Dee Town.
Let's check it out.
It's a pretty good UI, so like even though I'm like super far away from where it is on the overworld map, you can just press B and then return automatically.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Take notes, Elden Ring.
So this is the main hub world. It does not start out this big. You like unlock more shops and more things you can do as you free more Waddle Dees.
Okay.
And this is the Waddle Dee blacksmith shop where you can upgrade your abilities and then also switch between them.
This is wild.
This is Gun Kirby. You start out with one gun. And you get 2 guns.
Oh my goodness, that is fantastic. So can you store any of these to like use later, or can you only have like one at a time?
Yep, you can only have one on the mannequin, but then you can just like switch it on the mannequin and then switch back.
Very cool.
So then, and then I can just put it back to that one and go back to that one. This was the sword one. So you start out as like Link Hat Kirby, and then you become that one enemy with the giant sword. And then,
Meta Knight.
Yep, then you have Meta Knight, and then you have Morpho Knights. I call him Monarch Meta Knight.
Monarch Knight is so much better. We need to get Nintendo on the phone.
Just to answer your question, Bricey Pants, he does have tiny weapons. So when you come to upgrade it and give him like the blueprint and the stars to upgrade it, he goes back to this little area behind him and like tinkers, and then it turns back around. And he's like, "Here you go. Here's your upgrade."
Loving the blacksmith attire that this Waddle Dee has.
So cute. This one's my favorite one. This is the one you start out with.
The ability is now set to sleep.
You just fall asleep.
It doesn't do anything?
It doesn't do anything. It heals you.
Oh, okay. That's kind of nice.
And then when you upgrade it, you get deep sleep. And then you get a bed.
That is wonderful.
And then not only does it heal you, but there are power-ups in this game that you can like bring to different levels. And so it gives you a random power-up. So the one it gave me was I have a increased strength for 200 seconds when I go into a level.
Interesting. Okay. What's the deal with the one right to the right of it? Kind of
This
looks
one?
like it has like crystal stuff coming out of it.
So this is the needle one. It starts out just plain needles. And then this was the clutter needle that I was talking to you about with so it's just random stuff. And then when you stop, stuff falls off.
Oh my gosh. Can we get some Katamari's in the chat?
And then the third one is a crystal one. And that's just bigger. And I want to say, yeah, those like explode. And if enemies touch them, then and then when you stop rolling, it throws little needles ahead of you.
That is so cool.
Any other ones you're curious about? This one just does a big bomb.
Let's check it out. Whoa!
That's it.
All right,
It's
so-
one use.
Kamikaze Kirby, I like it.
The hammer one. So one of my favorite upgrades is the second hammer one. So you start as this little workman Kirby, but then the second one he has a little helmet. He looks like roller derby Kirby. I
That-
love it.
I like how for this costume Kirby's like, you know what, guys, safety first. I'm gonna
Yeah.
smush you, but safety first. Wear a helmet.
And then when you go into mouthful mode, whatever, like the light bulb or the vending machine also has the little helmet. It's so cute.
Oh my god, that's fantastic. And these are just some, or are these kind of like all of the power-ups that you can get?
These are all the power-ups you can get.
Oh, that's very cool.
I guess there's like 10. I don't know how many there are. But yeah, each of these is all the power-ups you can get. And then each one has either like 1 to 3 upgrades. I want to say the sword has the most at 3, but yeah.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you, Bryce Pants. He says in chat that like the animations are like really good in this, and there's a lot of thought and effort put into them.
Agreed. Just to kind of demonstrate that this is like the most upgraded tornado one, Wind Kirby. And when you use his ability, I swear it's like
Ooh.
a whole movie going on.
That is crazy.
It's like that's just the normal attack. That's just the Y attack.
This is a wow. So what's the is that a movie theater over there?
Yes, this is where you can watch. There's a bunch of cutscenes in this game. This is where you can watch them. You got the little Waddle Dee with his little bow tie, little concierge chat. Oh, and if you say there's 4 buttons for emotes. If you say hi, they say hi back. Oh, except that one because he's raiding. I hit him.
Wow.
I just
don't-
hit him and dipped.
Let's this be a lesson for everyone watching. If you don't say hi to Elise,
I'm
a storm's
gonna-
coming.
I'm gonna turn to a hurricane. This is like you can pick different songs to play. To get them to this point where they could play the number of songs they have now, I had to give them 1,000 coins. I guess if you donate 2,000, they get more songs. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah. But you can pick different songs to play in the background for Waddle Dee Town.
Oh, that is so cool.
There's his house, which is
Oh,
very
Kirby's house.
cute. You get little photos based on like what you've accomplished in the game, and then the little gachapon things you can put up to 3 on here. I put Gun Kirby because he's the best, obviously.
Oh
And
my
then-
goodness, that's fantastic.
And then when you go to sleep, he just goes to sleep. But it's a different still image every time. I love how
Oh my goodness.
stupidly committed the Kirby series is to its cuteness. It's like 0 gameplay value, but
Yes.
impeccable.
Like, we're gonna give you an ability where literally just Kirby is cute and falls asleep. And that's
It's
it.
so committed. I love it. I love commitments to like dumb jokes, and I especially love commitments to just cuteness for the sake of cuteness. This is like
Absolutely, yeah.
there's a little fishing mini game. There's like a coliseum up there where you can fight bosses. And then I do want to show this mini game before I go to another level. This is like a part-time gig thing.
Yeah, let's
that
do
you can
it.
either play in co-op and you can either play in co-op or solo, where you just deliver food to Waddle Dees, and then if you
Oh.
take too long, they get mad.
Oh,
They're
I'm
just
so
little-
ready for
little
this. Let's
Chef
go.
Kirby. And see, if you give them the wrong thing, they get very angry
Oh my goodness.
and they get very impatient.
Nobody wanting to eat their vegetables today, it would seem. They just want the
I think they're so
they just want
cute
the
how
cakes
like,
or the
upset they get. Oh yeah, this is not a nutritionally balanced restaurant. They have cake and burgers and soda. And then after you play for a certain time, then the lunch rush happens.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I see. So like the bar on the top, if it runs out, then you lose.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the longer you keep it high up in the green, the more coins you get.
Oh, okay. I gotta say, this is a pretty good minigame for Kirby. I feel like the Kirby series is always pretty solid when it comes to the side content like this.
Agreed.
Yeah, like again, I think about the Kirby 64 days. There was this one game that I like adored and maybe played more than the actual campaign for multiplayer, where like you would shoot paint tiles on like a 16 by 16 grid, and like the
Yes,
squares
I
would
think I
fall
remember
down
that one.
afterwards.
Yeah,
That one was sick.
The
That's
mini
when I
games
first
on,
learned. Oh, sorry, you
that's
go
when you
first.
first learned what? I was just gonna say the mini games on the 64 did not come to play. Like the Pokemon Stadium, Kirby, all the mini games were just really, really good.
It's so true. Yeah, same thing with Pokemon Stadium. Like, I played them more than I did the actual games. Like, I still remember, like, the Clefairy game to this day, so.
My mom still knows the name of Pinsir and Scyther because she loved that game. Can't name any other Pokemon, but she knows Pinsir and Scyther.
That's fantastic. Ooh,
So this
yeah.
is like the first couple of worlds on this continent, and then you go to the Forbidden Island.
Very cool. Excited to see this.
And this was the last world I was able to talk about in the embargo, the original Wasteland.
Okay.
Very clearly like California-esque. Like, actually, let me do this level. This level is like Beverly Hills, essentially.
Oh my goodness. Elisa, we're gonna have to do a second video where we show all the real world locations here in Kirby.
I was thinking that as I was going. I was like, this looks exactly like Horizon Zero Dawn. Like, I just finished playing that, and they had the exact same kind of architecture.
Yeah, for those wondering, so Elise also reviewed Horizon Forbidden West for us and realized
yeah.
that there were some real-world locations there that had equivalents in the game. So if you want to see that, there's a video that we have on our YouTube channel, so definitely check that out. Yeah, getting some, like, strong Beverly Hills vibes from this.
There's a little, well, I'll just go to it. I think it's over this way. Go back this way. There's just a pool. And I want to say one of the objectives for this level was take a nap by the pool. And so you just swallow that guy and then take a nap.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what else this reminds me of? The Last of Us 2 specifically, because at the end you go to a very similar, like, climate.
I gotta say, there's a lot of Last of Us influences in this game, which I could not have seen coming before that trailer dropped.
It's like the next Kirby game, we're going to be comparing it to Forbidden West and The Last of Us 2. You told me that, I'd be like,
Yeah.
nah, you're joking.
I know, right? I would have loved to be in that pitch meeting. Like,
Like, okay, this is for SNL, sure.
yeah, I gotta say though, like, one thing that's always surprised me for anyone not familiar, like, yeah, the Kirby content is like kind of dark. We mentioned it at the top of the show, but like, some of the backstory is like really not what you would expect from like a little pink puffball. I think one of the games like talks about like the end of the universe, and It's fascinating. I don't know why they go this route with like this little pink dude, but I'm all for it.
I think it's so. I find cute things with weapons really funny, and apparently so does a lot of the internet because you can find that all over the internet. So maybe that's just there's a brand of humans where we're just like, oh my gosh, what if adorable, but then also like he has a gun.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to say in Crystal Shards, like one of the enemies, or sorry, one of your friends ended up being evil or something, or she was like, she was making people, trapping them in like paintings. It
Yes.
got very dark.
Yes, which is like, if you think about it, that's like terrifying. But
Yeah.
I guess that's no more terrifying than like Kirby just like eating people alive and like taking their powers.
Maybe that was the impetus behind like all the dark stories. It's like, oh well, he is kind of dark. It's like let's just roll with it.
Yeah, he is in essence Nintendo's cannibal, if you think about it.
He is. Cannibalism is a core part of the game.
Yeah, I gotta say,
This
I am
game-
loving this tornado power right now. It's pretty sick.
This game also gets very dark near the end, and has like a multi-level boss fight with different forms. And I was like, this is a JRPG at this point. This is Kirby the JRPG.
Ooh, liking the drill hats.
You can also just with mouthful mode, you can just get filled with water.
This form for Mouthful, I feel like they phoned it in a tiny bit. Like, Water Kirby, he's just bigger.
I'm single-handedly saving the environment.
Oh, I see.
So like most of the levels have like little environmental puzzles like that where it's like, huh, I need to defeat that big frog boy over there, but the water's down there. And normally like whenever I would get stuck, because there was a couple times where I was like, I do not know what I need to do. They're very good about putting whatever copy ability you need like in abundance in the area. So if like I got stuck, I'd be like, okay, I probably have to go get like the Dig Dug dude, because I probably
Okay.
have to dig somewhere.
I'm so fascinated now to see like what all the different types of like environments are going to be available in this game.
Yeah, that was one of the things in my review that I really like commended, because it's like you start off in like a mall area. It's just every area is very varied, and then the individual levels in it, like this is like Beverly Hills, but there's another one that's like this is another mall, like a California mall. And then there's this is like a wasteland. It's just within the one environment they like hit a bunch of different notes, and I think that's really cool.
That's fantastic. I think one thing that might be good to show right now. So, Elise ended up shocking us earlier with a couple of suggestions for the thumbnail that we should use for the text. One of which being Hellscape, which I think I'm allowed to say, right? Sorry, YouTube, if not.
This place.
But yeah, so it's a literal hellscape, and here we are.
I couldn't speak about this in the review because the embargo stopped at the last place, but this is where I was like, what the heck? What the heck, Nintendo? It's called the Redgar Forbidden Lands.
Red
Which-
Garden.
Redgar. I'm not entirely sure what that means.
Interesting.
And like,
okay.
this is literally an oil field. Or a chemical plant. A power plant. Look at it.
Wow.
It's literally like a power plant.
I believe this is the final level of the Mortal Kombat campaign.
I got this far and then took about 10 screenshots because I was like, this is fine, dog meme, where it's like global warming, this is fine. Everything's fine. And no music, very creepy.
Yeah, extremely ominous.
To answer your question, the little stars on the map are the little challenges so you can get the upgrades that I already got. You find the blueprints in the levels, and then you get enough of the stars, like like 3, 5, or whatever, to actually unlock them at the Waddle Dee place, the Waddle Dee weapon shop.
Ooh. All right, Dragon Kirby. I see you.
One thing I love about the Kirby series is that like they just use the same enemies, but it's not like it doesn't feel stale. Like I see the same enemies I saw in like Kirby and the Crystal Shards, and it's very nostalgic.
Yeah, I was reading a couple of reviews on this game, including yours, and like one thing that I've seen as a theme for a lot of them is that like this is sort of like comfort food.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very cute. It's not particularly hard. There are some levels in the end game that get hard, but they're optional. But then it's like the same abilities, the same enemies. So it's kind of like coming back to like it's like coming back to a place and feeling like you never left.
That's very cool. How long would you say this game took you to beat?
That's a good question. Not super long. Like you could probably. I don't think you could do it in like an afternoon, but like 2 afternoons definitely. I couldn't give you like an hour estimate because I did like go around trying to get like all the extra stuff. But yeah, it's not super long.
Okay.
Oh, and one thing a fellow game journalist pointed out on Twitter that I thought was cool. So I played. There's like 2 modes. There's easy mode and hard mode. But you can switch back and forth at any time. And so one of my game journalist colleagues is playing this with his son. And so he's switching to, oh no, I might have switched. He switches to easy mode when he's playing with his son, but then when he's playing solo, he switches back to hard mode. I was like, that's so cool.
That's great. Take notes, Elden Ring. I'm just going to say that through the entire stream.
I still need to give Elden Ring like another like good honest try, but the fact that you can't sprint at all, my ADD just ain't having it. I'm like, I had to put on a podcast or something because I can't walk this slow.
I totally feel you. I also saw one of your tweets a while back where like everybody was like stressing out about like playing Elden Ring, and meanwhile you're just like deeping and dopping in this game. Like.
Yeah, because Elden Ring came out on like the 20-something of February, and then I got the code for this for review like not long after, and so my entire timeline was just people being like the discourse about like how hard should Elden Ring be, or like people saying they didn't like the Souls games or they did like the Souls games. This is another environmental puzzle, by the way, with mouthful mode where it's like, oh no, I need to be a triangle shape thing. What's triangle shape? But while all that was going on, I was just like, oh, cool, there's an ability where you can just go to sleep. Like, it felt very, like, 2 worlds.
That's fantastic. I want to be a part of your world, as opposed to the Elden Ring world. I've been meaning to ask, by the way, so who is this, like, little companion dude that's to Kirby's left?
This is, and I had to look up how to spell it, because it's like Elfilin. Like, it's like ELFILIN or something like that. He is a little dude that when you come to this world, he's like, oh, the Waddle Dees have been here for like a while, and I've become friends with them, so we should be friends. And then you find out that he has a tie to this forgotten world.
Interesting. Well, yeah, this area is terrifying.
We should do that. And I love the names too. Enter the Fiery Forbidden Lands. It's just so, it's like, oh yeah, this is a Kirby game. Oh yeah, so this is the first level in this area, so they get a little cutscene.
Oh, okay.
The bad guys are all anthropomorphic animals, and then they're like lackeys, which are the little dogs you see around. They're called woofies.
Oh no. I mean, so far the enemy design has been like pretty good. You said that they've like reused a couple, but like I've enjoyed how like creative and like cutesy they are. Hoping that this game doesn't pull a Sonic 06 and all of a sudden there's like a human that you have to fight or anything.
There is not, but the final plot twist did remind me of Sonic Adventure 2.
Oh,
So
well
it's
then.
funny that you mentioned a Sonic game because I was playing and I was like, this reminds me of Sonic Adventure, which I am a big fan of. I love the Sonic Adventure games.
Me too. Yeah, yeah. That series is very hit or miss for me, but Adventures is on the hit. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Oop. Ah.
Yeah, I gotta say, Monarch Knight is possibly my favorite version of Kirby we've seen today. Possibly.
These guys are also from the older games, and they scared the crap out of me as a kid because if you try to swallow them, they turn evil. Look at that, that's terrifying.
Yeah, that's
It gave
pretty
me
scary.
nightmares as a kid.
Oh my goodness. That is some Super Mario, the piano turns alive level horror.
See, it's so dark. It's like let's escape from the molten hellscape that's clearly like, you know, referencing global warming and energy consumption, but also,
Right?
oh man, I found a little Waddle Dee. Let me just swallow this mole so I can get some coins. While avoiding meteors and lava.
Yeah, this level's pretty intense. Is this world like towards the end, or is this like right in the middle, or?
Yep, this world is towards the end. There's there's a lot of in-game content, like more than I was expecting. So I was pleasantly surprised by that. But yeah, this is near this is one of the last areas. The last area, but then there's a couple of like multi-part boss battles at the end that could honestly be like levels in their own right.
I'm like trying to identify what city this is.
Yeah. This one's pretty generic. It's just kind of
Yeah.
like skyscraper-y city. Oh no!
Also, I don't know why my brain went there, but like I'm thinking, if an asteroid were to be that close, its gravitational pull would do some serious damage. That's very unrealistic. Like that's the unrealistic thing for me in this game.
I think it's unrealistic. You can't suck it up. Why can't I
Yoinks.
suck up the meteor? I want to be Meteor Kirby.
Yeah. Meteor Kirby. The ability to just keep falling downward.
Well, hey, I can turn into Water Kirby. Meat's one of the elements. It's water, gas.
So
and
is there
meat.
so is there any other sections that you want to show us, Elise, or do you want to stick with this one?
Yes, let me. I'm trying to remember what stages there are. So it also has this nice UI where you can just like pop around. Oh, this mall was pretty creepy. So yeah, this is another one. This was probably like my second favorite. You go through a mall near the beginning. It was shown in the trailers a lot, and then this is like an even creepier version of that.
Oh man.
And it's called I want to say the first one's Aliva Mall, and then this is Aliva Mall staff area. So you can go into the staff areas of the mall. Also looks like The Last of Us.
It really does. Like, I know we're joking about it, but like, is it possible they looked at The Last of Us and were like, you know what?
Let's do that. So this is what makes this level so creepy for me. You hear the music, and then you go back here. This is the staff area. It's more muted, and there's ghosts.
Oh, whoa.
I think it's so good at setting the just like unnerving tone.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Slightly muted mall music is very
Yeah.
unnerving.
Yeah. Nintendo is very good at that like ambient music change like that. Like for several of their games, like if you go underwater, there'll be like an underwater version of the theme that happens. Is that ice cream sandwich Kirby?
So a lot of the shapes, or a lot of the specific items for mouthful mode, there's maybe like 6 or 7 in total throughout the game, but they do find really cute ways to like get them into the environment. So like when you're in a construction area, it's a traffic cone, but when you're in the mall, it's an ice cream cone. Trying to think what you can be like a circle, and like puff out air. Actually, yeah, I think that's over here. And in some places, it's like, like like a mechanical portion of something, and then in other levels, it's like an O and a sign. So just different ways to get that thing to then use mouthful mode. So yeah, so like this is like a cog, and then you can. Boop.
Oh my goodness.
And then these levels specifically do a lot with like just having the right shape for things. So this like gets you a hidden Waddle Dee, just putting the circle in the circle.
Interesting. So I know that wasn't the point of that mouthful mode version of Kirby, but we got a very good look on the insides of Kirby because his mouth was open. Very curious as to the anatomy of a Kirby. It apparently looks like there's nothing in there.
Yeah, they kind of show like a little bit of his tongue, and then it's just like one color. Honestly, I don't want to know. That's one of those things
me
where
neither.
it's like I'm better off not knowing.
Oh, absolutely.
And you can interact with your environment when you're Sword Kirby by cutting stuff.
Very cool.
And see, so use the different mouthful modes to solve the different environmental puzzles.
Huh.
The actual ghost being in the haunted house level, I thought was just very, very adorable. And I also, it's a little more unnerving when they're in like the back of a mall. I'm like, oh wait, are those people?
Yeah, the implications are a little disturbing here.
Whereas before I was like, oh yeah, it's it's a weird world where like animals walk around. Sure, there's little ghosts. But see, and here, oh, that's right, I have to do it on the other side. Now that same circle shape is a clock. Wait, I need a hammer.
Oh god. Wow, that is an expert dodge right there.
Thank you. Ow, that was, ignore that. Let me see if there's like a hammer dude over this way. Ah, wheel. Oh, there you are, dude. Little Donkey Kong.
I like how he gives you the hammer.
But so like those sword dudes, like that's the exact same design from like the early Kirby games.
Interesting. Okay. Wow. Okay. That's a cool puzzle.
And then I get it. See, it looks kind of just like it's his tongue.
Yeah, and just a vacuum of bread.
Do we know he's... Oh, I thought you said bread. I was about to say, do we know he's not bread?
I mean, at this point, who even knows? Maybe his body's 100% yeast.
There's a really dumb joke from SpongeBob where Patrick goes, yeast? I thought you said weast. And for some reason, I just thought that was hilarious as a kid. It doesn't make any sense. But I thought it was so funny.
It's a great joke, and also I love the trend of you trying to turn the conversations to children's shows.
I'm just a child at heart. Only now I have adult money, so yeah, I can get stuff like that.
Yeah, so you can play games like this, yeah.
Oh, by the way, I mentioned this while we were setting up, but this is actually my work Switch. So I have 2 Switches. I have one that I bought when around when they first came out. And then this is one. So in order to review games for Nintendo, you need a Switch from. They did like the original one, and then they did the Switch Lite and the OLED one. But in between the Switch Lite and the original one, they did like a 1.5 version with a longer battery life. And if you want a review code from them for them to like send you one, you have to have one of those. And so I got the go ahead from my boss to like get one inexpensive, and so I had to get the Animal Crossing one because I was like, if I'm gonna get one, it's got to be the cutest one. So whoever uses it after me knows that they have the cutest Switch.
That's the light blue and like green one, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm so jealous. I definitely want one of those.
And I'm not even like the biggest Animal Crossing fan, but I love the aesthetic, so I'm like, yes, this will go perfect. Try it. Oh, okay. So I did not like this portion because I do not like the Switch's tilt controls. Mm-hmm. But there is a little tilt control mini game that is very aggravating. I honestly haven't even beaten the hardest one yet. But it's like
oh, these ones.
You know in Breath of the Wild where like I always choose those puzzles where I would like turn it on its upside down.
Turn it upside down and then you just roll it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was never good at those. I managed to do this one once. I don't think I'll be able to do it again. But yeah.
Yeah, like I can't.
I could do the easiest one.
Like I can't do this in real life, so there's no way I can do this virtually.
I did used to like these as a kid though, but now I'm like, nah, I ain't got time for that.
Have no hand-eye coordination for this.
Mm-hmm.
Up, tough part here.
Boom.
Sticks the landing. Incredible.
Well, we'll just ignore the hardest one. Oh, so again, just going back to my theory that this is like a very JRPG Kirby, you can buy little power-ups and then take those into the levels.
Interesting.
So like this one you can use, and you like use them at any point in the level. This one doubles your life, makes your attack stronger, makes your speed faster. And then you can also buy food from the store and use that as like a healing item that you just bring into each level.
Interesting. So other than like those and the Kirby hats that you can wear that give you the powers, is there anything else that you can use coins for?
Yeah, so you use coins for the to like upgrade your abilities. You have to get like a set number of stars, a blueprint, and then enough coins to pay for it. And they're pretty expensive. Like I had to grind a little bit with the Waddle Dee mini game, but I didn't mind because it's very cute. But yeah, they're like a couple of thousand. And then you have these gachapon machines over here. They're like different series. So, and they get more expensive with each series. So like this one's 10, but then this one is 100. And you just use however much it is, and then you get a little gachapon.
Okay, all right.
And they come like a lot of them come with like a little description, and whoever wrote these had a lot of fun because like every Gun Kirby one is like he's a sharpshooter, pew pew, like it's just very cute. And they don't do anything. You can put them in your house.
I was about to say those are the 3 statues that you put in your house earlier. Okay.
They have like some fun flavor text. See,
what's the buzz? Cuz wow.
I need to meet whoever wrote these because they had fun, and I appreciate that.
I was about to say, did they get the guy from Animal Crossing New Horizons that does all the fish puns to do these? Because, like, getting very similar vibes here.
But yeah, then it like explains the power, but they're mostly just to be cute.
Right.
Oh, this is so. One thing I haven't shown is the endgame stuff. So in the endgame stuff, it's all the stuff you fought before, but just in this like weirdo extra dimension thing. I can show you the world map for that one.
Okay.
But they're all like pink, like very pink and like it kind of reminds me of like cyberpunk colors.
Interesting. Okay. Another game you wouldn't expect Kirby to take influence from, yet here we are.
This is like the end game. And so you go to like levels you've already beaten. So like these are the levels on the main overworld map, except they're a lot harder and they require a lot more like precision timing. So it's kind of like the hard mode of Kirby.
Got it.
And,
Okay.
But in a way where like if you find the main levels like hard, you're just like, oh, this is fun, but it's not really challenging. These ones are challenging in a very satisfying way. I really enjoyed them.
That's cool.
Like,
Yeah.
let me show one up. Since
We're now Final Fantasy now, apparently. With like the music and like this final gauntlet.
Here, I'll show you one of the ones. So before in the areas there was like 5 or 6 individual levels. This is like a marathon of the levels. Where they're just like you don't go through the whole level and there's not like a lot of secret places, but they what's it called? String together like the major parts of the levels and make them harder.
Okay, cool. Very cool.
The little fish are also a enemy that's been in a lot of Kirby games.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I even sort of recognize some of them. Like, I think I've seen that knight before.
The little bomber dudes were my favorite. Oh,
Yeah.
and you collect these things for the in-game boss.
Cool, cool, cool. All right. Yeah,
I
I'm
will
curious
say-
to see how they go ahead and try to balance this game with co-op. And also just generally what Waddle Dee's like, what he can do other than like, I guess, stab people?
Mm-hmm. One thing I noticed about this game, so in the old ones, if you didn't have a power and had to rely on like just picking up the stars that they gave, or that the enemy, put on the field, they did the same amount of damage as the powers. In this one, the stars do a ton of damage.
I was about to
So,
say, you just wrecked him
yeah.
with that.
The stars do a ton of damage, so that it helps with like balancing and stuff. So it's like you don't feel as. I remember being very stressed as a kid when like I lost my power for some reason and I was fighting because it was just very hard to win without a power. But in this one, it's a lot easier.
All right.
I want to say these whirlpools can suck you up. You can hit the little, those little like timer. Or no, not timer. The little targets. That's the word I was looking for. If you have gun Kirby.
Oh, okay. So generally, which type of Kirby would you say that you like using the most?
I would say Fire Kirby. There's a couple of Kirbys that do. What's the word for it? When you hit something, but then it continues to take damage after like you've hit them, like latent
Oh.
damage.
Okay.
There's a couple of ones like the Fire Kirby, and then this one also like if you hit someone with a like part of your fire tornado, it'll catch them on fire, and then that continues to do damage even like while you're avoiding them. And so those end up being my favorite because some of the bosses just have very like small windows to attack them, and then like proceed to attack you for like a long time. So it was a lot easier to just catch them on fire and then have that take away damage gradually rather than try to hit them for that much damage.
Got it. That totally makes sense. So like a damage over time build would be your
Yeah.
recommendation for Kirby?
Yeah, like the fire one, this one has like a fire thing too. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
And some of the ones, like I like the gun Kirby. Some of the ones have charge up attacks that do really well. And so like the final gun Kirby one does this like huge blast radius, but it takes so long to charge up. And even this Monarch Meta Knight takes a while to charge up. So it's like in some instances you can use them, but in other ones you're just gonna get you're gonna get beat every time you try to charge it up.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I think you've done a pretty good balance so far of doing like the charged up attacks versus the normal attacks.
And then in these levels, like if you needed, like if I had a power up, I could like use it or use like food to heal myself. I really didn't find myself using that in like the main game. I used it a bit in these end game levels because they were a bit more challenging. They throw a lot of stuff at you.
I was about to say, these whirlpools have got to go.
Excuse you. Yum.
All right.
I will say, if you die, it does not set you like back very far. So also very user friendly.
Oh, that's nice. All right, last time I'll say it. Elden Ring, take notes. actually, Elden Ring is pretty good at not setting you too far back too. So.
Oh, this one, this one I had trouble like solving all the puzzles that came at this part because you have to like dodge things, but then also hit things. And at one point, you have to like use mouthful mode while you're doing this.
Oh man. Oh, okay. So like you're constantly being pushed forward right now. Got it.
Yeah, so I'm being pushed forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like up there, but I can't get it. But there's a staircase up here. Oh no! I almost got it. But yeah, so like if you get the staircase, you can get up there and then get the thing.
Oh
but
man,
it's pretty tricky.
I was about to say it looks tough. One thing I've got to say is I've really liked the variety that Kirby has incorporated, like gameplay-wise, into their levels. Like there's like this section, there's like the boss gauntlet sections that they have in the game. There's when they like zoom out the camera right next to Kirby and it feels more cinematic. They did a really good job of like varying it up.
Yeah, they have a really good balance of like platforming and environmental puzzles, and then also like brawling and just really big boss battles. Like what is it? Really big cinematic boss battles. Like I think I'm about to go into one.
All right. Let's see who it is.
So anyone who's played Kirby games should recognize this guy.
Oh man.
What's it?
Phantom Tropic Woods. I think that's right. Yeah.
Something Woods.
Woody,
Mr. Woods.
Woody Woods, maybe. Yeah. Mr. Woods. James Woods.
Mr. Woods.
Yeah.
This was also one I ended up using a lot because these are homing bombs, so you can just kind of throw them and you don't have to worry. So that is, so with these ones you throw them and then they run towards it. Something I was running into, because this is like, 3D Kirby as opposed to like 2D Kirby, is it was kind of hard to tell how far away like an enemy was. And so I would like use my power thinking I had hit them. And then I would get hit because it didn't like extend far enough to reach them. So that's a little tricky. When you get the more powered up copy abilities, it doesn't become as big a deal. But with like the ones you start out with, I was like, I thought I hit him.
All right. Psychedelic tree is almost half down. Lace is like, I've had enough of this.
I'm like, I'm gonna cheese it. No, that is my pro strat with Bomb Kirby though, is just get up and spam them.
Oh wow. Different form.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And so,
like,
was this the same way for the original boss fight?
no, it was these kind of attacks, but like not as many fences or not as many roots or not as many little balls. It was like this, but just easier.
Got it. Okay.
Or like he wouldn't do his root attack and this attack at the same time, so they like combine it in new ways that make it harder.
That's cool.
And yeah, definitely did not combine these either. Oh
Good boy.
no, don't make me go away.
Oh God.
I'll be very upset if I lose. No, I won't be upset.
Bomb for your life, Kirby.
Just throw all the bobs. Oh no. See, yeah, and sometimes stuff like that where it's like, it looks like I should be able to go that way. Like
Right?
the perspective almost is off a little bit.
Yeah. Oh no! Oh, what a bummer.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna leave him for another day.
All right, sounds good. Do you have something in mind for what would be like a good little finale to show off the rest of this?
Trying to think. Where's the? Let me go back to the main world, because then I can bring up the little overworld map thing.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
Boop.
I always love these little interstitials too. They're very cute.
Oh, they're very cute. Let's do the mall level that was in all
Alright.
the promos.
All right. Ending things off with a corporate message here.
They do some of the gachapon like things. Oh, can I pull them up on here? No, I don't think I can. But they get pretty dark, and it'll be like, so like Alival Mall. It's like Alival Mall was the biggest, or is the biggest mall in this world, or should I say was? Like it gets very just like fourth wall breaky about how depressing it is.
I believe we are currently at the level where Joel taught Ellie how to use a gun.
Seems about right. Just waiting for the zombies. If Kirby made a zombie game, that would be awesome.
That would be so cool. I would love to see that.
This is a little invincibility. Boop. Which I
Like
think
how
is
he
the
gets his
Smash
own-
game. Isn't the lollipop a thing in Smash?
It might be. There's like at this point 1,000 items or something like that, so it's hard to keep track. I do like how Kirby has its own like invincibility star theme though. Like,
So this is also more of that environmental puzzle solving. So you turn into Mouthful Kirby to pull down the thing, and then it tells you which entrance you're supposed to go through. So I have to go through the hamburger, and then if
Okay.
you go through the wrong one, then you have to fight like a bunch of enemies.
all right. Oh my goodness.
This is another thing. So like not violent. Oh, I thought they would tag me in the what's it called, the carnival level. If you cut them in line, they'll attack you.
Really?
I thought I was like,
They look so,
maybe
like- Right? They look so like nice and cheerful though.
they get angry.
Well, you did just eat their food, so I get that.
It's just going to the mall. I want to say if they see. Oh no. Some of them, if they see you, then they'll attack you. But some of them, you have to like interact with them in the environment, which I think is really cute. This guy, I'm pretty sure, is in Ice Climbers.
He definitely looks like he would be. Ooh, nice.
See,
Yeah.
they can be mean. Oh no, sir! Maybe they're not mean. Maybe they just they need a therapist.
Right? They just need to talk to somebody.
Yeah, they just need to talk.
Yeah, I gotta
Sir!
say, like,
No.
oh my god.
Oh,
It's
no!
okay. You can open up, talk about your feelings.
What were you gonna say?
I was about to say, like, I do see your point about, like, this version of Kirby being really cool. Because of the long range, like, fire attack, but also, like, I like the dragon dash thingy that he has, too. Yeah, like that. Very cool.
Oh, and I will say that I ran into this. I think you can see it through. When there is a lot of stuff in like the background, it does get kind of like the frame rate drops.
Okay.
Especially like later on when like you saw like all the meteors falling down and there's just like a lot of stuff going on in the environment.
Yeah. It's not too terrible, though.
Yeah. So I intentionally went the wrong way that time. So this is what happens.
Oh my goodness.
Any other ones? Excuse you. Those guys are cute. If you knock off their hat, then they just run around for a bit.
I love the small attention to detail like that in the Kirby series.
This is it's like a children's book, I think. There's like a little bit of stuff in the background that tells a story, and then when you go to the carnival, I want to say it's themed to these two little dogs that star in the children's book.
Oh my goodness. Look at this little fella.
So he's another one that's been in a bunch of the games. The little bomb dude, I always thought he was cute. And now
just
I
looks
hate
like-
him.
He kind of just looks like Kirby with an actual body.
A little bit, yeah. And I want to say they all have names too. Like all the enemies have names.
Oh my goodness. That makes sense because like Waddle Dee has a name, Waddle Doo and stuff like that. Whoa.
Doing. So like one of the hidden objectives in this one was just eat 4 donuts. I only got 2 that time.
Oh my goodness. That's so good.
There's a bunch like that where it's like just get the duckies back to their mom or destroy all the statues, take down all your wanted signs. Navigate them all without
Oh.
getting lost. So like if I went into the right one, then that's how I got that one.
Got it, got it. Alrighty. That was a very clean level from you, Elise.
Hey.
Yeah. So I think, unless you have some other ideas, I think that might be a good point to kind of start wrapping things up.
Those were the kind of greatest hits for me.
Yeah, for sure. So any like final thoughts that you have about this game overall? Like, how did you feel about playing this? Was it worth your time?
Yeah, I think it's definitely kind of like it reminded me of a scaled up version of Kirby and the Crystal Shards, where it's like there's more like RPG elements and it's like the 3D, and that was kind of the last game where they got close to that. Like I think that game was like 2.5D, but just in terms of like theme and in terms of adding to the Kirby formula, it really reminded me of like a scaled up version of the old Kirby games, which are the ones I have the most experience with. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun. The levels are gorgeous, and because there's like hidden objectives in all of them, then it like incentivizes you to explore them. They're all very varied and different, and the end game kind of provides a challenge if you like it. So I really enjoyed it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I thought it looked fantastic, and I definitely would get really into the gameplay loop, trying out all those different powers. I really want to try out co-op one day, which makes me regret not actually doing it for this stream. We were thinking about doing it for this stream, but...
There's a story I wanted to tell. My husband is not a cute game fan, and he was watching me play one of the other Kirbys, and you know how at the end of every Kirby level you dance?
Yeah.
He had never seen that before, so he was like, why are they dancing? And I was like, that kind of like captures the Kirby ethos, where it's like, it's just cute to be cute. Like, if you like that, then you'll like this. If you don't, it's fine.
That's a great way to put it. Like, there's no reason to be
Just
cute,
cute.
other than just to be cute. Yeah. I think that's great. All right, so I think that's gonna do it for this stream then. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope you had a good time watching Kirby and the Forgotten Land. It's available today, starting today, and if you're curious to see whether or not you would like it, go ahead and read Elise Stanley's review. It's on our website, and Hawken will throw another link in the chat for you guys to check out if he hasn't already. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Again, we are Press Play, where the press comes to play. We're a recurring show on Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard, where we play some video games. So let us know if you like this. Let us know if there's any particular games you'd like us to try out or anything that you think we could be doing for these live streams. And yeah, so with that being said, I've been John. That's been Elise. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and have a good weekend.